observation. So we're gonna look at our seeds. Yep, we're gonna look at these lima beans, these seeds right here. We're gonna see what happened to those overnight. We are also gonna take some time and look at these seeds in here with our wet coffee filter. If you're doing this at home and your coffee filter's not wet, you're doing it wrong. And if you've got them submerged in water, you're doing it wrong. And we're gonna look at these. Oh my goodness, they smell terrible. Turns out stagnant water does not smell that good. Oh, we've got our planter to check out with all the different smelly seeds that are in here. So, we are gonna work on some science observations, and it's gonna be great. All right, let's look at some seeds. First seeds that we're gonna look at today are the seeds that are in this container, the ones that are inside the coffee filter. Even more is going on with these seeds today. Now you can see we have the bush bean right over here. It started to split down the middle, and the brown on the outside is starting to come off, and there's all these spiky things. I wonder what all those things are called. We have the sunflower seed. If you look real closely, sunflower seed has started to sprout some of those spikes by their root as well. If I could stop moving around and point to it. Ooh, that's a broken pencil, everybody. But right back here, you can see the spikes that come along on the end of that sunflower seed. And then we have the pea seed. Now the pea seed has grown more than anything, but again, look, there's these spikes that come off the end on the root. That must be a common thing on the seeds. And then we have the corn seed. Now the corn seed has started, if you look on this side, you can see that white part. The corn seed has started to split. It is the slowest growing seed that we have. It has taken the longest for it to germinate. That's that process, folks. It's germination. You are in a position where we're almost ready to answer the question, what effect does water have on seeds? Before we do that, let's look at what effect water had on our other seeds. So we have the seeds that are in the planter right here. These are the pea seeds. Let's see. Now, if we look at the pea seeds, this one right here in the middle is all gross and squishy. Ew. That one sat in water way too long. And the seed on the inside, the part on the inside, the cotyledon, is all saturated with water. And as a result, this seed is not going to grow. So we're going to get rid of it. But we have other pea seeds like this one, which are growing nicely and have not been saturated in water. My sprouter was sitting sideways, and there was this big, wonderful pool of gross water on one end. All the seeds that were in that gross water are not going to grow now. What a shame. We have been paying more attention to the sunflower seeds because, again, I really want to grow some sunflowers. So, if we look at the sunflower seeds, we can see a lot more is happening here as well. Some of the seeds have started to germinate, some of them not so much, but I've made sure that they do not sit in pools of water, so I'm anticipating them to all start growing a bit more very quickly. And then the last ones in our sprouters to look at, this one I've been paying less attention to, which is evident because there's a whole bunch of water in it that I just spilled everywhere. What fun for me, I have to clean that up. Hey, these are the bush beans. These bush beans are currently sitting in water and really need to be drained, but because they're such strong and large seeds, they have done better than the pea seeds did while being saturated in water. We really want to take the time to look at those lima beans from yesterday. Now, we took these lima beans and we soaked them in water overnight. And the question specifically was how much water can a seed soak up? So, let's take these seeds out of the water and find out. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all the lima beans. Hey, 2 of these lima beans don't belong. Can you figure out which 2 lima beans don't belong? Which 2 are different? If you said the 4th one and the 7th one, those 2, you're right. Because these 2 lima beans have not been soaked in water. And look at the difference in the size between a lima bean that's been soaked in water and the lima bean that hasn't. That got a lot bigger. So yesterday, we looked at how to measure how much water these lima beans soaked up, and we decided that we would use scale. We had 7 lima beans yesterday, and they weighed 7 grams. Today, we have 7 lima beans, and they weigh 18 grams. Yesterday, they weighed 7 grams. Today, they weigh 18 grams. How many grams is that? How much water did they soak up? We started off with 7 grams. We added enough water to get to 18 grams. That's 11 grams of water. Those seeds soaked up 11 grams of water. That's more than twice their weight in water. Now, what we're actually going to do for right now is, because we've answered the question, how much water can a seed soak up? We're actually going to take one of these seeds apart. We've got the seed right here. We're actually going to peel right off on the edge. This part right here is called the seed coat. I'm going to put the seed coat right off to the side. It's veiny looking. Once we take the seed coat off, we have on the inside the actual lima bean. Now, lima bean has got these 2 parts that can split right in half. Oh, part broke. Of the 2 parts that can split apart, we've got on the inside fleshy part here and the inside fleshy part here. This is where most of the water got absorbed. These 2 parts are called the cotyledon. This is the food for the seed. When the seed is growing, it does not get sunlight, so it cannot produce photosynthesis, so it cannot make its own food. So it gets its energy from the cotyledon. This little nubby piece right here, that is the plant, the embryo. That's what is actually going to grow into the plant. If this had a little bit more time to germinate, you'd be able to see that right over here you have the beginning of the leaf that's going to pop up when this starts to grow. So you have a lot of different parts outlined in that lima bean. It's a PDF document that I spilled water on. Smelly water even. It's kind of gross. This document is attached to the assignment post, and I would like you to fill it out. Now, this document you actually can fill out online, download it, and then resubmit it to me. You can also print it off, write it in, and take a picture. What you're going to do is you're going to tell me, what is that outside structure? What is this thing that's on the outside of the shell? What is the name of that part of the shell? That part that we just peeled off right there, what do we call that? It's on the outside. It coats the seed. How about on the inside, you have this fleshy part right here, which produces the food. What are that part called? This is the embryo, and the whole structure is called the embryo. The embryo is going to grow into 2 parts. One is going to grow into the leaves, and the other part is going to grow into the roots. Let's fill that out as well and get this submitted back to you. This document, if you could get it to me by Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now in a position to answer the focus question, how much water can a seed soak up? These seeds originally weighed 7 grams, for 7 of them. The next day, after soaking in water, the 7 of them weighed 18 grams. You do the math. How much water can a seed soak up?
I'd like you to create a Google document where you answer the focus question, how much water can a seed soak up? Make sure that you use evidence from our investigation to support your answer. I'd like this document shared and completed by Friday.
Have a great day, everybody. We're going to check on those observations for our other plants tomorrow.